All right.
All right, let's do
Let's get
immigration.
serious.
This is the immigration. By the way, there was an article talking about immigration. There was an article in the New York Times today. I don't know if you checked it out or not, about how the immigration should be a little more humane, and they're going to try to get away from detaining people and put them. If you're going to detain somebody, they're going to take over hotels and put people in hotels instead of detaining them in jails. I didn't really read the whole article because I'll tell you the truth. Detention is detention. It's going to be it's civil detention. It's not a criminal detention.
Right.
They shouldn't be detaining people unless they are flight risks or are dangers to the community. But there's a lot of people who are sitting in immigration detention right now that have never committed a crime, that are upstanding people in their community, that have family here in the United States, and they're being held in what I would rather be held in. You know what? If I have clients in Rikers Island, I say stay in Rikers Island. It's better than going to immigration detention.
Wow.
Okay, that's how bad it is. Okay,
Wow.
and it's supposed, and this is not even criminal, and it's almost like a punishment. It not almost. It is a punishment. So I'm reading this article. Well, you know, we understand now. Maybe we're going to put people. They're not putting people. Whatever it is, it's going to be miserable. People don't get any health care.
Right.
Okay. How many of my clients are sick, and they're in jail and detention, and it's so hard to get health care there. I mean, the whole thing is an absolute mess when you get detained by immigration. And most people who are detained don't need to be detained. They can put an ankle bracelet on you, which they're starting to do.
Right.
Listen, I don't want to walk around with an ankle bracelet, but I'd rather walk around with an ankle bracelet than sit in jail, especially for people who haven't committed a crime.
Exactly.
What was their crime?
But you know what? It probably would be less expensive to do the ankle bracelet.
It is less expensive.
You know, because
Right.
you got to provide housing,
Right.
you got to provide this.
So now the Obama administration said they're going to basically why the detention facilities are so terrible for immigration is that they are contracted out to private companies. So the private companies get paid a certain amount of money by the U.S.
Always comes
by
back to that.
by the U.S. government. So they want to do it as cheaply as possible. Give the cheapest possible food you can possibly get, give the worst type of conditions because they don't make any money by making it any nicer. You understand what I'm
Always
saying?
comes back to
So now the Obama administration says they want to basically take it over and try to make it a little more humane. Immigration, and they're talking about taking over hotel. Listen, you're not going to the Four Seasons Hotel, okay? If you're like, oh, this is great, I'll go to the Four Seasons Hotel. I'd love to be here, you know, get me a beach view. But you're not going to a Four Seasons. I mean, detention is detention. It's miserable, and they're detaining people who don't deserve to be detained. Yes, they are deportable aliens, but there's plenty of ways to keep track of them to make sure if you want to deport them that they will leave, other than throwing them in a jailhouse.
Right.